All right, just waiting for it to hit on YouTube.
Okay.
And let's see, we're also dual streaming to Twitch as well. Come on, YouTube. I don't know why there's a delay. Let's see. Just waiting for it. There we go. All right, we're good. All right. And welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Casanova Podcast. I'm your host, Miguela Casanova, and I have the honor and privilege of having back again the one, the only Chris Huston of AVerMedia. Chris,
hi, everyone.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you? I'm glad to be back.
I know. Has it been? How long has it been? Has it been?
Yeah, a couple months since I was on last.
Crazy, man. Crazy. A lot has happened.
Yes. In the world and in the gaming industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, man, go ahead, tell people where they can find you. I left links to everything down in the description below, but I mean,
awesome.
Let people know what you're doing, what's up, what's new, and
yeah. So I'm Christopher Huston. I'm the community and partnerships manager over at AVerMedia. And you guys can find me on pretty much every social platform by my online handle, which is Hoost, Hoost 07. So I actually have a little interview coming out on the AVerMedia website pretty soon, where I talk about where my name came from. And I gave the piece of advice to don't use a number in your username, but I created mine back in 2007 and can't go back now. So yeah, that's where you guys can find me, and you can always find me on the AVerMedia social channels as well, since I'm the primary one that reads and responds to all that content.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And you know, today we got you here today. We're gonna talk about the new
yes,
the world's first 4K 60 frames per second HDR and full HD 240 frames per second capture device powered by Intel Gaming.
Correct.
3.
Yep.
This is the Live Gamer Bolt is amazing. Okay, let's talk about it, man.
Let's jump right into that, because so we actually showed. This has been a long journey. We actually showed the Live Gamer Bolt at Computex a year ago. The reason for part of the delay was that we really wanted to have some of the aesthetics worked on a little bit. I mean, that might not sound like super important to everyone, but it's important to us, right? I mean, gamers have like a certain aesthetic we're going for. We want everything to feel the right way. And we actually, when we debuted, I mean, it was just a prototype that we showed off at Computex. But, there's a little sort of slot on the front of the Bolt. And we had people that said, what is that, a printer? We had comments that said, is that where you put your Pop-Tarts? Is that a storage tray? Is that for Hot Pockets? So we kind of wanted to redesign it a little bit. And then we also wanted to actually work with Intel on a few things. So I don't know how much I can talk about, but because this, Thunderbolt is an Intel IP, and we were working with them on this. So we actually kind of were, so I was actually in Santa Clara a few times, which was really cool, at Intel, kind of going back and forth on a few things, because they're really into trying to empower creators and gamers as well. So we just wanted to finalize a few design decisions. And then we were getting very close to launching the Bolt, and then everything kind of happened with the world with coronavirus, and that kind of slowed down some production channels. So this has been like I've been ready to show the world the Bolt, because it's a really amazing piece of kit, and we finally on Tuesday launched it globally, so it is now available, I think, everywhere. But yeah, as you said, it's a world's first, so this is kind of the top of the line. We launched 2 4K devices back in 2018, the Live Gamer 4K and the Live Gamer Ultra. And the Live Gamer 4K in particular was, I think, kind of ahead of its time when it came out. And it can do that full 60 HDR at 4K, but it takes up the PCIe slot. It's not exactly the most mobile. You can't use it with a laptop. You can't use it with a Mac or anything, because it has to have that dedicated PCIe X4 slot. And then the Ultra, which is a great I mean, it's a great card. It still can capture 4K. You're limited to 30 FPS though. And you can only capture HDR in 1080p. You can't capture HDR. So we really wanted to get a nice external solution that could push those limits a little bit. And the Ultra is the highest for anyone that's technical out there. The Ultra is the very highest you can go with the USB throughput. That's you can't go any higher than that. Until we get like USB 4.0 or something, that's all you're going to get. So we started working with Intel Thunderbolt because we're able to get that 40 gigabits per second transfer speed. We can get that full 1080 240 or 1440p at 144 or 4K 60 HDR. And we got it finally in an external solution. Looks great. It's got cool RGB. The aesthetics are awesome. Quiet fan, it's portable, one plug. I mean, the Bolt is really, really, it's pricey. It's kind of up there for the people that that need the maximum out of their content creation. But if that's you, this is going to be your device, and I can't wait for people to try it out.
No, but I mean, that's the thing is, like, as a content creator, like this is our bread and butter. Like, we need products that just are reliable and last. And like last time you were on the show, I was telling you, like, I went through so many different of the Elgato cards within like a month. I went through 3, and then I ended up getting your internal 4K capture card on my computer, and it's like I've never had an issue. And I've had it now, I want to say about a year and a half now, and it's like no issues whatsoever. And it's like I'm thinking, because I'm setting up my other room, my guest room. I'm gonna set that up to be another room where I can record in. And I'm like, I need an external capture card, and I saw this, and I was like, that's what I need to go and get.
There you go. Yeah. See, we made this card with people like you in mind. I mean, people that need the flexibility of having the external card, but need to be able to get the highest quality recording. So especially, we were just talking before we clicked live here about some of the different game companies and brands you're working with. And, if you're demoing for people in the media, for journalists, for podcasts, for any type of creators that need to be showing off some gameplay or need to be showing off kind of all the crisp details, you can get that with that 4K 60 HDR. Or if you even want to do like esports tournaments ready. A lot of the esports, the standard there is actually 1080 240 because every frame, every refresh rate matters there. So people that are wanting to record tournament footage and go back and watch it later, to kind of analyze that, esports players, this is going to be huge for them, because getting those high refresh rates and those high capture rates. Because one thing that I think some people don't know about the Bolt, and this is true for the 4K as well, but it doesn't just pass through those high refresh rates, it actually records. So you can actually get a 240 frame per second file, and that's also great for people that are doing montages or any content creators that want those like nice slow motion effects. It'll look really good when you've got that when you get it on the cutting software, because you can get those fine details with those 240 FPS. So yeah, I'm really excited about getting this out, because content creators, esports professionals, anyone that's into video production and editing is really gonna love this device.
And definitely, it's like, and for an example for the audience, like if you go to an event such as like PAX or something, when this whole pandemic clears, like
once events start again, right?
If you're able to, if you go to one of those types of events, and if you go to like a booth with, say you're doing something with Capcom or whatever company, right? And they're like, hey, would you like to capture? Basically, if you've got the Bolt with you, you could literally capture gameplay right then and there. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, we had a solution that was really good for that as well, which was the Portable 2 Plus. That's like an event favorite. But the limitation is that you're capped at 1080p. And that has worked great for the last few years. I mean, we as the staff bring them to events when we go. We've helped out companies that want to help out some of game journalists or different media that's there. But now that games are better and better, I mean, 1080p is just not going to cut it when someone's wanting to show off the best of the best. And so in those events, for those live events, getting that footage out of the Bolt is going to be great. And one other thing I'll just want to say real quick, another reason why it's perfect is because it works great with laptops. So Thunderbolt is kind of a, I hope no one from Intel's watching, but it's kind of not super widely adopted yet, particularly in the desktop market. But laptops is really where kind of you'll find those Thunderbolt ports. And so that really makes this kind of, the portability of the Bolt really powerful as well, because you can just throw it in the bag with a laptop. And we actually worked very hard to make the device bus powered. So again, this is kind of one of those, nitpicky, nuancy things, but I got to just talk about it because so much effort went into ensuring that this device had one cable. There were iterations of the device that had to be plugged into a wall, or that had to be plugged in. You'd have one USB cable for data and one for power, and that wasn't gonna fly with us. We had to make sure that it was one cable, as easy as possible. And so we're actually pushing kind of the power to the max with this. Kind of a funny story is we actually had to swap out how the RGB works. Because we had to free up some power. So we kept the RGB as a feature, though. We know gamers love that. Some gamers love that. But we put a lot of engineering into making sure that could be that it could be bus powered, one cable device, to really make it portable and easy and on the go. I mean, the last thing anyone wants to do is pull out a power brick and plug that into an extension cord at an event. So with this, you throw it in, you power it via your laptop, and you're good to go.
Cool. And I wanted to touch on one of the things you said earlier about how it runs cool, because I know with a lot of external capture cards, like I've used the Razer Ripsaw HD, I've used the Elgato HD60S, and their newer one, they all tend to run hot after a while. So I'm really curious to know more about how this runs so much cooler. Like, is it like cool to the touch, and it's really good ventilation, circulation of the air?
Yeah, so like I said, a lot of the design is all done, with intentionality. So, we had people kind of joking, like I mentioned, when we showed our prototype about, well, what's that grill for? But, it's important. It goes into the cooling of it. But yeah, it's got an onboard fan as well, just like our Ultra. It's quieter than the Ultra. The Ultra, one of the complaints about it was actually that the fan could kind of get a little noisy. And we actually have since made some modifications to the Ultra to try and eliminate that problem, but you're not going to have that problem with the Bolt. So it's nice and quiet. That grill is going to help push that air out, and you don't have to worry about any heat. I mean, you don't have to worry about honestly heat with our internal ones as well. All we got is that nice grill and that nice heat sink on it, but yeah, heat's not a problem with any of our devices.
Definitely, man. So for the reviews have been coming in for it, it's been doing phenomenally well. Like, how was when you saw the critical rave for it? Like, were you surprised? Were you happy, ecstatic? Like, how was your reaction to that? I
mean, so personally, as Christopher, I am so glad that I can finally be talking about this. I mean, we had a few out, and just for the sake of trying to have these big reveals, we're always trying to play things a little close to the chest. So I'm personally just glad I can talk about it. But I think from a company perspective, we are just thrilled to have it out, because a lot of effort has gone into this. I mean, as soon as the Ultra launched 2 years ago, we were immediately in like, okay, how can we push the limits again, right? It's important to us as a company to always be the innovators, to always be sort of the leaders. I mean, you can compare with other brands and anything, and that's totally fine. But I know that I've got the company name on the shirt, so I know I'm biased. But really, I think that the AVerMedia products are top of the line when it comes to the space, and that's what we want to be. There's so much effort, there's so much innovation, there's so much engineering that goes into making these products and making them run well, so that they don't cause hiccups, so that they don't crash, so that content creators don't have a problem. A lot of people, as content creation and live streaming and video production becomes more and more popular and become more of a career focus, I mean, this is people's livelihood. And when they depend on these devices, we take that really seriously. I mean, this is, if people are missing paychecks because they can't stream, that's a big deal. So we need this stuff to be solid, and really I think it is. So as a company, we're just ecstatic to have it out. The reviews have all been very positive. We've seen the reviews that Thunderbolt is kind of not super widely adopted, and yeah, we get that. Honestly, there's no surprise there. We've talked to Intel, and I know that Intel is excited to get Thunderbolt more widely adopted, and that's kind of up to various computer manufacturers to make that happen. But I think that this is a testament to the innovation of the company, that we can get that maximum possible in a type of device like this.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's some new products you guys have in the works. Are you able to talk about any of that? Or
I think I gave a few teasers last time I was on.
Yeah,
so yeah, I really can't say too much, but what I will say is this. The Bolt, we're excited to have it out, but that's not the only trick that we have up our sleeve. And we, what I can say is we are aware of the pain points and the limitations that streamers and gamers and content creators face, and we are working quickly to address those. And our goal is to have people be able to have a complete AVerMedia ecosystem, and that this year we're going to be having some things coming out that are going to help get us in that direction, and we're also going to have a few things that some pretty kind of major announcements that are going to be getting us to there, and then we're also going to have some pretty cool announcements that are maybe not groundbreaking, earth-shattering, new innovative tech kind of thing, but they're solving critical pain points for streamers and creators, and I'm very excited to get those devices out as well, because I think as soon as we launch them, people are going to go, where has this been? Why didn't I have this 2 years ago? And we hear you, industry, community, gamers. We're working on getting that in your hands as soon as we can. Definitely,
man. And as far as having this entire ecosystem that is, AVerMedia, I'm excited for that too, because like I said, before I got your internal capture card, I was just having problems all around, and now that I have that, I'm I can capture gameplay at its full resolution and at the best frame rate that the games can push out. Not only that, but I'm looking, hey, I need a new webcam. You guys have one, and I've seen the quality of it. I've heard the reviews. I'm like,
this is what I'm using right here. Actually,
right.
I mean, the coloring's off, and that's because I'm sitting in a home office. By the way, this is just a green screen. I don't live in a cushy apartment like this. I wish, but yeah. But so ignore the lighting. But yeah, the cam we released is pretty good, and that's kind of a funny story. Let's chat about that real quick, if you don't mind too.
Go for it.
Because we actually have this 4K webcam that has been this giant mystery. It was actually a mystery to me. When I first started with the company, one of my first questions was, what is this 4K webcam and why are we not selling it? And so it's this camera that is only available in a bundle that comes with a microphone and a 4K capture card. And you can actually buy the camera if you get that bundle, but it's not available for individual sale. And I was talking with some people because Logitech had a camera that came out, the new streamer cam, I think it's called. And I was watching some reviews on that, and see, it's the same thing. We at AVerMedia, we adopted this "We Are All Creators" kind of slogan, and it's true. I mean, I'm a streamer, I'm a creator, my coworkers are creators, we're gamers. And I was watching reviews for this camera, and I said, I think we could do something great. I think we've got the solution to do it. We just got to get some assets. I mean, we're kind of known for capture cards, but we want to be known for everything in the space. And so we sent out this 4K camera to a couple people to get some feedback, to have them do a little bit of testing, kind of tell us if we're headed in the right direction. And one little secret slipped there, and then next thing we know, these guys are going, well, can we just go public with this information, and we'll just see what happens. And now it's pretty much it's a daily request for me, is when can I get my hands on this 4K webcam. I mean, the quality is amazing. So to anyone that might be watching live or on VOD, I just want to say that we are working very hard to make that solution available. Please just be patient with us. We have heard your overwhelming feedback that you guys want to see that. But see, it's that same idea of, we hear the limitations, we hear the pain points, we see the reviews where people say, how come this product comes out that doesn't have X feature? And we go, okay, let's make a product with that feature. Let's get it into the hands of people, because we want creators to not be held back by anything, and that's what we're working hard to do.
Yeah, because I know when you look typically for like a webcam as a creator, like if you go in store, your options are very, very limited, and the most common thing you're gonna see is either Logitech C920 or what was it, C930, or you got the Logitech Brio 4K, and it's like, they all have their pros and cons, and it's like when you're looking, and this is something I'm seeing a lot too, but like a lot of creators, a lot of streamers are using actual cameras and running it into their computer to get like a better quality picture with that depth of field. But I know that there are webcams out there, like, and definitely you guys have that as well, where you can get that quality at a fraction of the price of paying for like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. And that's why I'm so excited for you guys, like having that ecosystem that people can just dive into, because you can literally get everything you need as a creator, as a streamer, right there. Even as a vlogger, like everything you need is there, and that's something that I'm excited for you guys with that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited as well, because all these things kind of work together, and we want them to all work in harmony. And just like you were saying, I mean, I'm not here to talk about competitors and put anyone down. I mean, we're all in this together, but I think that competition really drives innovation, and I think that in our sort of space, there have been a few kind of like big players that are very well known. They have large marketing budgets, and it kind of feels like there's not a lot of innovation. It kind of feels like they are sort of these market leaders that, they're on top. So what's the point? Let's just keep doing things business as usual and stay on top. And I think that we're kind of the underdog, so to speak, here. But I think that we're really disrupting the industry in the sense that we are providing some solutions that are really challenging some of the big brands out there, and that's good, because that forces them to innovate, or AVerMedia is taken over. And I mean, that's what's going to happen. So I think that competition in this space is good, because that means that people are getting the kind of features that they want. It helps keep prices down, to make things affordable. A few years ago, I think I bought my first AVerMedia capture card, and it was, I want to say it was like $240, and that was for like a 1080/30 capture card. Right now for $250, you can get a 4K, HDR 60 frames a second capture card. So, part of that's because of market competition, and because of innovation, and how we can be disrupting the market that way. So I'm excited to take on some of the giants here, because I think we've got some solutions that as soon as people see them, they're going to go, oh, why wasn't that available? It took a company like AVerMedia to step up and get it out into people's hands.
And not only that, but like just the fact that you guys continue to innovate. Like you look at what you currently have, you look at the market, and it's like you're already, in my opinion, I think you guys are already making the best quality that there is. And it's like, you're not satisfied. You're like, let's take it up a notch. Let's take it up another notch. And it's like, I love that. And I love the fact that, the competition pushes you to want to continue to improve. Like that's phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, the industry's always moving, and so we're gonna keep moving with it. And honestly, we wanna be helping to set the pace. So we want to be right there on the forefront.
Definitely. And man, the microphone, man, I love your guys' microphone. Like cross comparing it to like a an XLR mic to what the mic that you guys have, the USB one, it sounds so great. Like
good, yeah.
Like most other USB mics, they sound good, but there's still like that slight static hum. But with you guys, this one, you don't hear it. Like, so is it like a design or engineering thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm actually using our AVerMedia mic here too, and I apologize to everyone that is probably hearing a little hum, but the reason for that, just so you guys understand, is that I have a very sort of janky. You don't hear anything? That's good. Because I have, I think when I was testing it, there was something, but I'm actually using like a 50-foot USB extension cable that's running way over to the other side of the room. And I think that's causing some issues since that's like a powered, it's like so long, it's like a powered cable. So anyway, I'm getting off topic, but yeah, our mic is kind of this strange wild card because the mic's actually been out for quite some time. But a lot of people don't know that we have the mic available. And we sent a pretty popular YouTube reviewer a bundle that had a mic and a webcam and a capture card in it. And he said in his video to, his 100,000 viewers or something, I think the best part of this was actually the microphone. And I was surprised because I thought it's a capture card company. I thought my favorite thing would be the capture card, but his favorite device out of the three was the mic. And that was really surprising. But yeah, we love the mic. We use them in the office all the time. And, I have a very bad poker face. So one of the things that I get nervous about doing these things live is that I'm gonna smirk at the wrong time. But what I can say for product teasers is that while we love our mic and it's great, just like we said before, we're always driving to innovate, and we think we could do something a little different with the mic. We think there could be we think there's some improvements that could be made. So just stay tuned to see what that means. But yeah, we like I said, we want to have a complete AVerMedia ecosystem for creators.
Okay. And you are the community and partnerships manager for AVerMedia.
Yeah.
Dude, like with everything that's been going on in the world right now, like how is it like for your workflow now? Like, are you working from home? Do you still need to do you still get to go to the office? Like, has it impacted your workflow so far, or is it still running super solid?
Yeah, so both. So it has, so we're in the Bay Area of California, and this is one of the areas that was kind of hit the hardest. So I think we sort of closed things down kind of a lot before a lot of other places did. So we all AVerMedia staff went home back in early March, actually. So we've been home for a month now. And, finding out you're going home is fine. I mean, because we work for a capture card company. So like we've got the webcams, we've got the mics, we can have pretty high quality Zoom meetings and stuff. But it just kind of, it threw a couple things. It threw our product launch. That was something that, was a bummer because we were like counting down the days. I actually, if you go back and look, I posted something on social media that said like a little teaser about counting down the days for our bolts. And then obviously it didn't launch on time. And so it was like this bummer because, if anyone goes and sees that and deciphered, what that was about, we kind of missed the mark a little bit, but we had to work with what we had. So everything has been a little bit chaotic and disrupted. We had to push back our partnerships. So when we talk about that, we did have to. I know some people are anxious because we were aiming to do that actually Q1, but when we started to work from home, it just kind of shifted how everything went. And then also we've been working actually a lot on our professional line. So it's not just us that's working from home; it's a lot of people, and so we have been trying to help outfit people in home offices or schools that moved to online e-learning. And so we've kind of been a leader in trying to help get these schools up to speed as well. With a lot of schools, just the nature of it is they're using outdated technology. And so, we say, oh, cool, move your school online. And the schools are like, yeah, we want to do that, but we don't have any resources to do that. So we're setting them up with what they need. We did some demos. We've got schools that are using these like multi-broadcast systems with green screens and mics and webcams. And I mean, it's cool. It's fun to work with the schools that are getting that set up. So it's great that we can kind of keep impacting this next generation through that. So that's taken a lot of our focus. So yeah, the answer is both. We're working from home and everything has been impacted, but still banging on all cylinders. We got our product out. We're going to get partnerships open, and we're doing our best to stay on top of everything.
Awesome. We got a question from GamerThumb TV.
Yeah.
He says, what's the highest end mic that you guys offer, or do you just have the one?
We actually have two microphones. We have a USB microphone, which is the AM310. That's the one I'm using here and that I was referring to earlier. And then we also have the AM133, and that's a 3.5 millimeter mic. So you could use that with a smartphone or a DSLR camera. I mean, technically you could use it with a laptop or a desktop. You probably have that in port as well. But I think that mic is a more attractive option for people that are trying to do like mobile or something capture, because you can just connect it via the 3 or 4 pole 3.5 millimeter.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all we have for now.
All right. And I know you had mentioned before that there's a sponsorship program is potentially opening back up again this month.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that. Like what's the behind the scenes on that?
Yeah. So we actually started our program last year. That was kind of the trial run, so to speak, and we learned a lot. And so we're kind of ready to roll out version 2. And version 2 is going to be great. We're going to be able to work with a lot more people than we were previously. We're going to be able to kind of offer some really cool incentives, some really cool ways that we want to help, because we want this to be a partnership. There's a lot of companies that do these kind of like sponsorship programs, but really it's only the company that benefits. And that's not really what we want to have. We want this to feel, we chose the word partner because we want to feel like it's a partnership. I mean, we need the creators to use our products, to share about them. But we want to help the creators as well. We want them to grow because they will have an audience if we're helping them to get people. So in terms of ways that we're going to kind of be featuring some of our creators and helping them to grow their audience or to reach new people, we've got some cool things that are going to be coming out with that as well. So we were planning on opening up our partnership applications at the very end of Q1. We pushed it back to early Q2, so it will be coming very soon. Probably this month. We'll have them open and we'll start going through those applications, and we'll be onboarding quite a few creators this time around. A lot more than we did last year, so that we'll be able to work with more people this year. And I mean, as a partnerships manager, I'm like very excited about that. That's like it's exciting because I love getting to work with people who I already am connecting with, and I love getting to be introduced to new creators and see kind of where that creativity is and how we can work together with people to either help them with their promotion or to help outfit their stream if they need gear or something. So I love doing all that. So we're gonna be getting that rolled out very soon.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. And
yeah.
People, where can content creators go if they want to apply, or should they just wait for some promotional on social media to come out?
Yeah, so we're definitely going to be sharing all over social media when they're available. If you actually go to our website right now, there is a section that says, there's a link that says sponsorship. There's a banner that says, we're looking for you. And you can actually go right now and you can drop your email and we'll actually notify everyone as soon as those are open. I think that we have like 12,000 emails on the list. So there's going to be a lot of people. I mean, I'm guessing that probably only half those people will fill out like a day one application or something, but there's a lot of people that are interested. So, and it's not first come first serve or anything like that, but people that want to get their applications in right away, you could drop your email in that link, and that way you'll get notified as soon as they're open.
Okay. If a creator has previously, within the last couple months applied, should they do it again or should they just wait?
Yeah, definitely apply again. So how we handle things here is we treat each time we open applications. They're not always ongoing. We open them for a while, people apply, and then we close them. And we treat every application like it's a new application. There's no harm in applying 1,000 times. I mean, if anything, that just shows us that you want to keep working with us, and that's great. So I know that some people have asked, oh, well, I applied because, we've had it open, I think 3 or 4 times. I've applied every time. Should I just give up? No, don't give up. One of our partners applied 3 times and then she got it, and so it just we treat them all like, okay, this is a new wave. We're bringing in these creators. Who can we work with? Who do we have the resources to work with? And so, yeah, it doesn't matter how often you've applied, come on down and try it out. We want to work with as many people as we can.
Awesome. Gaming Master O, his question is, AVerMedia cards, do AVerMedia cards have any internal workarounds for PlayStation 4's audio? He hates using the chat link for the console.
Yeah. So one thing that some people don't know is that the PlayStation 4 can output to optical and HDMI at the same time. So if you get like an adapter or something, or if you even just get an optical headset, or if you put a sound card in your computer that has an optical in, you can kind of do some workarounds that way. But for the PS4, because you cannot output to like the controller and to the HDMI at the same time, the best thing to do is to go the optical route. It's a little bit more pricey because you got to get a couple adapters and stuff. But if that bugs you, email Sony, because unfortunately there's nothing we can do about that. That's a PlayStation thing. But some people don't know that you can output to HDMI and optical at the same time. So that's going to be probably the best route.
Definitely. And I want to talk about the hashtag We Are All Creators. I know that's been running really, really strong lately with you guys, and it's been doing really well. Like, can you tell us not only how impactful it is, but how's the response to it been since the last time you were on the show?
Yeah, it's been great. So we actually have a whole website up now that we're trying to fill with some content. So we browse that hashtag We Are All Creators on social all the time, and we're trying to interact and feature people that use that hashtag on posts. But it's great. We actually have those words up. I'm not at the office, so I can't show you, but we actually have the words We Are All Creators and a big I don't know why I can't think of the word right now. A collage. There we go. Yeah. A collage of different creators that we work with. But yeah, that's kind of like the beating heart of the company. I mean, we were sitting down and really where that came from is we were thinking about our products, like I mentioned earlier. And the truth is it's like a double meaning. It's like we, the AVerMedia staff, like we ourselves are all creators, but also like we, this like group, this family. But yeah, that's been great. And anyone, if you want to get our attention, be sure to use that hashtag, because we've kind of adopted it, and we're featuring those posts. And you can actually go to our website and click on the banner that says We're All Creators and see some of those posts, and we've got some videos up about that as well. So that's definitely something that we're trying to do is connect people and help people realize that kind of we're all in this together. And especially if you look at the state of the world right now, we're all separated, but we're all in this together. We're all doing what we can. And a lot of creators are helping to to connect with people right now. You know, amidst social distancing, hopping on Twitch and connecting with your friends or your favorite streamers is sometimes the only social interaction that people are getting. So creators have a really unique sort of responsibility in the world right now. And I think that that's awesome that they're doing what they do. And we love to work with people that are, you know, that are sharing their creativity with the world wherever they can. So we love working with people like that, and we love trying to share their streams, or we love trying to share their content. And you can find that all on that event page under We're All Creators.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things, you know, since this whole thing is kicked off with the pandemic, like I've been streaming a lot more than I typically do.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, you know, I'm like, there's so many new games that it's just too many games I've been dropping.
yeah.
So it's that, and you know, just interacting with my audience, you know, with the people here that are watching now, the people that will be watching the VOD. Like I really love that one-to-one interaction. And to touch on what you were saying about that responsibility as streamers, like what we do, you know, we have the capability of reaching and interacting with our audiences and providing them with, you know, entertainment to help them take their minds off of whatever might be going on in their lives. And I've had many, you know, within the last couple of weeks that this has been going on, just reach out to me and say, hey, you know, I was having a really, really bad day, but you know, your stream really uplifted me, and I thank you for, you know, streaming longer than what you normally do, or just streaming just in general. And I'm like, man, I do this. I do it for you guys. Like I love doing this, and it's such a rewarding experience. And honestly, if anyone is thinking about being a creator, like honestly, we're all creators. We're all creating something.
Yeah. And I love, I mean, I've seen people that have asked the question on social media, you know, I have this thing and I'm thinking about streaming it, you know, whatever that thing is. And it's great to see people go for it. I mean, one of our partners does, you know, like ceramics, and we have another partner that does like model shipbuilding, and like, you know, it's awesome. Like I love that people, what creating means, you know, to one person means something very different to the next person. But it's great that people are taking risks and sharing things. I mean, to create and then share it with the world is a huge risk, right? And so it's great that people are taking that risk and are sharing, you know, kind of their innermost person with the world. And so, yeah, we want to be a part of that. We think that this is more than, you know, video games. This is more than watching YouTube videos. I mean, this is people coming together in communities, and that's why we're so excited and feel privileged to be a part of it.
Definitely, man. And you know, looking at the streaming landscape right now, there's so many different services that people can utilize. I mean, you can do streaming on Twitch, you can do streaming on Mixer, on YouTube, on Facebook, and you know, a couple years ago, it would have been like it's YouTube or Twitch, but primarily everyone's on Twitch. But like now, there's so many options.
Yeah,
like it's just insane. And like I've had some people that are looking to get into like streaming content creation. They're like, which platform do I go on? I'm like, it's up to you. What do you feel more comfortable with?
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, that's just the U.S. I mean, there's other platforms like DLive that are popular in UK, and streamable. I don't know for sure, but there's yeah. So there's like a couple. I know because I see them on our product sometimes. Like works with streamable. I'm like, what is streamable? But you know, I mean, we think of kind of these big services, but in other countries, they've got their own as well. But yeah, there was a study that said, I think that they had surveyed, I want to say it was like 5th graders or something, and a third of 5th graders said that what they want to do as a career is be a full-time, you know, creator, like a full-time streamer, a full-time YouTuber or something. And I mean, I can't imagine what those numbers would have been, you know, when I was in 5th grade. But if, you know, when I was in 5th grade, if I told my parents I want to be a streamer or a YouTuber when I grow up, I mean, they would have said, no, get a real job. That's not the thing, you know. But nowadays, that's people's career. That's what they're doing. And that's great. And I don't think it's taboo. I don't think it's anything to be embarrassed or ashamed of. And whether you do it, you know, it's your job or your hobby. I mean, we work with several of our partners who are just like, they work 9 to 5 and come home and stream a few times a week. And that's awesome. You know, do what you got to do. But But yeah, we just want to work with people that have the passion, no matter how they use it.
Yeah, man, and it's to touch on that with the survey that was done. Like I was actually literally right before this pandemic got us into the state that we are now. About a month and a half ago, I actually got invited out to a couple of colleges here. I got invited to University of Hawaii, Hawaii Pacific University, Chaminade University,
Cool.
and Brigham Young University, and I got to speak at each one to the college students, because one of the most demanded things that they were, by the students for like a career field was content creation, streaming.
Yeah.
And at each of the ones I went to, like I went to UH on Big Island, went to UH on Maui, the one here, one on Kauai. Like I literally was going to each of these colleges and I was talking about, hey, this is what I do as a career. I was in IT. I'm doing this now full time. And the kids were like asking like, what are some gear that, I should use? How do I approach this? And actually, one of the things I did before I went to each of the colleges is I literally went to Best Buy, stocked up on, because at the Best Buy here, we had the streamer kit that you guys have, the capture card, the camera, the microphone. So I actually got that. And to each, that and I got a couple other things too. And to each of the classes that I went to and I spoke at, I just gave it away. And
Cool.
I'm like, people are like, I want to, I would listen to the students that would say like, I really want to get into streaming, but I can't afford this, that, or, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure to start. I'm like, here, this is what you need. I got enough for a couple of the students here. The ones who really need it, like, please take it. If you want any insider tips on how to get started, how to find your voice, how to go from there, I'm like, here's my business card. Reach out to me, fully available, because this is a viable career. This is a new, it's not, well, content creation is new in a sense, but it's entrepreneurship at its finest.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's great. And I'm glad that you could do that. And, we talked a lot. We started off talking about the Bolt. And that's got a pretty nice price tag on it. But at the other end of the spectrum is something that really drives AVerMedia, is making this accessible. Yeah. We think that's part of what goes into this idea of we are all creators as well. Is we hate that there are people who are like bursting with creativity, like ready to take that risk to share their gift with the world, but just can't for financial or technical limitations. And so we're trying to make getting into content creating and streaming as accessible to people as possible. So that's why we got those bundles. I mean, those bundles are honestly, they're really good deals. But even trying to, the fact that, the price I think on our Live Gamer Mini right now is I think $99. Mm-hmm. So the fact that for $100 you can get a full 1080 P60 capture card. Like I said a few years ago, that was unheard of, right? That was crazy. So we're trying to drop the prices. We're trying to not by cutting corners or by cutting features, but by trying to cut out businessy things where we can. But yeah, we're trying to make getting into creating as accessible as possible. And the other thing that goes into that is good content, good tutorial content, teaching people how to use it. So I'm glad that we got people like yourself that are doing that. We as the staff are trying to help teach people, and we're also relying on other creators out there to make tutorials and setup guides and unboxing videos and stuff. But we really want to work with the community to make things as accessible as possible so that anyone can get into this when they want.
Yeah. And as far as like the Live Gamer Bolt, man, how do you think like towards like the rest of the year? Like what are your projections for like the success of it? Because I see it just selling out like that, like over and over. It's available, boom, it's gone because people are buying it.
Yeah, I think so too. So some people actually will buy our Live Gamer 4K and put it in a Thunderbolt enclosure. That was something that a couple people had been doing. And that's already got a nice, you're talking about price tag, that's got a nice price tag on it too. PCIe Thunderbolt enclosures are not cheap. We're talking, $250, $300 just for the enclosure. And then, like I mentioned, that the problem with that is it's not really portable. Those things are big, they're bulky, they're heavy, they have to have external power typically. So the fact that this is like a nice small device that's bus powered, you can throw it in a bag with a laptop, or if you use it with a desktop, you can set it there. I think it's going to do very well. And it's also, one of the other things that's perfect about the Bolt is it's great for streamers. There's some other, sort of like in the competition, there's some other devices out there, but they have really, really hindered by latency. Yeah. And that's not great for streamers. If you're content creating, if you're just recording your footage to upload to YouTube or something later, that latency is not going to be as big of a deal. But particularly for people that are streaming, low latency is going to be the way to go. And our device, our LiveGamer 4K is the sort of like industry leader when it comes to low latency. It's at like 35, 36 milliseconds of preview latency, which is, undetectable. We say near zero because it's 36 milliseconds. We can't say zero, but you cannot detect 36 milliseconds of latency. Most online shooter games have more than that in your lobby. So, but yeah, and this one we're clocking in at just around 50 milliseconds of latency with the Bolt, and that's great. We were sort of joking that we were watching. This was at Halloween time last year. You're watching these streamers that are playing horror games, and they'll react to something before the audience sees what they see on the screen. And there's tricks you can do to try to sync that up. You can add milliseconds delays in OBS and stuff, but for people that don't know how to do that, it's a bummer. You kind of spoil the surprise. Something pops out and you on your webcam react, but your capture card hasn't caught up yet. So your audience doesn't know what you are reacting to. And so with our devices, your audience is seeing basically what you're seeing. And that's something that's going to be great for streamers. So yeah, the fact that it's portable, the fact that it's great for events, the fact that it's top of the line, perfect for streamers. Dual PC is becoming much more popular. I think capture cards, a few years ago were mainly console buddies, and now a lot of people have moved to dual PC. So the fact that we have that support for 1440p and 144 hertz, which competing devices don't, or like I said, that esports standard 1080 240, I think the device is going to do really well. It's I know we're a little bit hindered by Thunderbolt. But I think that Intel's working hard to try to get Thunderbolt more adopted. And I think that as that becomes more mainstream, our Bolt is going to become pretty mainstream as well. It's kind of like the LiveGamer 4K. When that came out, people were like, well, no streaming services offer 4K, so who cares? But now they sell out all the time. Right, so we do a promotion and they're gone, right? So I think that the Bolt's going to be the same way. It's a little bit of a trendsetter, so I think that it's going to be, people are going to get them while who want to be on the top, and then I think as it becomes more mainstream, more normalized, that card's going to be like the 4K, where if you see it on sale, you want to grab it because it'll go pretty quick.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you about is with actually it wasn't even a question. I was gonna actually add to what GamerThumb was saying in the chat, because he's GamerThumb. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's famous for the Resident Evil timeline. He works with Capcom a lot, and he swears by your guys' product. So it's
great.
Is all that footage you see captured for that timeline that's got over 1 million some views? Yeah, all
great.
Captured with the AVerMedia.
Good to hear it.
So he was saying that some capture cards they come with a lot of fluff software and extras, but he said with the AVerMedia card it was just plug and play, and that's something that I really am grateful for you guys. With the design of it, I don't need all this extra software. I can literally just plug it in and just go.
Yeah. So let me make sure I say real quick though, so that we set the expectations, is that the Bolt is not a plug and play device. Right. That's because it relies on Thunderbolt. It does have to have a driver for that. You can't just plug that in and off you go. But we have done what we can to make that process as easy as possible. I mean, our streaming software, Rec Central, can automatically install things. Or if you want to use OBS, we actually have a little tool called Assist Central that can make sure your device is up to date. But yeah, most of our devices, when they can be, are plug and play. The Bolt is not, unfortunately, but when they're not, we try to make it as easy as possible. And I was testing some Live Gamer 4Ks at the office yesterday, and the fact that I could just plug in, 2 in a PCIe port, install the driver, test, record footage real quick, pop it out, plug in the next one. I mean, I was just going through, bam, 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 and so we've made it very easy to get these devices to work if they're not plug and play. But for the ones that aren't, we made it easy, and for the ones that are, that's something that's important to us as well. So we want to make sure that all the barriers where we can eliminate them are gone, because we don't want people to be confused trying to get products to work.
True. So with all the games that have been coming out, that have been dropping left and right, what have you been playing, man?
So I don't know if people are going to be surprised by this, but I have been really obsessed with Animal Crossing. And
really?
So actually we bought Animal Crossing to stream, like as AVerMedia. And then I was playing it, just kind of like to stream it and stuff, but I actually got really into it. And when we stream new games or we do quality footage, we don't keep those games. We typically will, gift them or do a giveaway or something. So I was telling my boss, I said, I'm not ready to give up my Animal Crossing island. So I had to go out and buy the game myself, buy my own copy, because I just wasn't ready to move on. And I play with my wife and daughter, and so it's fun that we all kind of have a hand in designing our island. But yeah, Animal Crossing has been really fun, and that's not, I'm usually like a shooter kind of guy, or like an action RPG or something, but it's just fun to kick your feet up and just be on a desert island sometimes. So that's one that I've been playing a lot. And then I'm sure that there's not a lot of surprises here, but I've been playing a lot of the Call of Duty Warzone as well. So that's kind of, I've been a Call of Duty kind of shooter guy for a while, and the Warzone BR is right up my alley. So the solo mode, quads, trios, whatever it is, I'll play them all. I really like playing Warzone. I have a lot of fun doing that.
I'm surprised. I would have thought you would have been playing like Valorant, since that's the game everyone's like obsessed with right now.
So here's a funny thing, is that I am not a PC gamer. So I'm a console guy. So a lot of people, to each their own. I was a PC gamer for a long time, and I liked, it was pricey. PCs are pricey, so now I use my PCs to do my streaming and my recording, and I play on an Xbox or on a Nintendo Switch. So I'm a console guy these days. So I have not been playing Valorant. Don't have a key. Don't have Mike, I said my PC's over there in the corner. I don't even know if I could play it right now, but yeah. So I mean, that one's not for me, but a lot of our partners are playing it, so I'm watching their streams. And I was a big fan of Overwatch, and I played Counter-Strike. This is make me seem old, but I played 1.6 back in the day. So I've got a special love for CS as well. So I love to see what the team's doing over there. And someone on one of my coworkers is like obsessed with Riot. That's like her publisher. So I'm sure she's probably playing it right now. I don't know, since I don't see her too much, since we're not at the office, but I'm sure she's probably checking that out for sure.
Awesome. And this year we got the new consoles dropping.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5, Xbox, is it Series X?
Series X, yeah.
Series X. Which one has your interest? Which one you think you might go with?
So I'm an Xbox guy, and not because of any, console war or anything. I just got a Xbox 360 back in the day and liked it, and then I bought an Xbox One and liked it, and I'll probably get an Xbox Series X and we'll like it, But yeah, I'm all a fan of cross-play and cross-compatibility, and end the console war, end the exclusives, like let everybody play, let everybody share. That's what I'm about. So, but I just happen to be an Xbox player. But we're keeping our eye on both because it's important to us that we're going to have device compatibility with them, and we have contacts kind of all over the industry so that we can ensure that we're that we're kind of staying ahead of the curve, so to speak, when it comes to what people are going to want to be capturing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess the last question I have, man, is is there anything you want to leave the audience with, or anything you want to speak on? The floor is yours.
Sure. Yeah. Well, what I'll say is I'm glad that everyone is, practicing social distancing and practicing quarantining, if that's what your state is asking of you. My hope is that the world goes back to relatively normal very soon. And if it does, and if TwitchCon happens later this year, what I can say as a teaser, and what I can leave people with, is that our presence at TwitchCon this year is you're not gonna want to miss that, for sure. So, and that's assuming that everything goes according to plan, which, the state of the world. I check my email all the time, dreading that I'm gonna see a TwitchCon. Your TwitchCon, we've got some bad news. But assuming that the world goes back to relatively normal, and that's an event that happens, we have some stuff that's kind of going to be the next time that we're going to have some really amazing things to show and to share, and maybe even if you're there, it's people to get their hands on. But even if you're not there, you're going to want to be following our socials or checking in on some of our live streams or VODs, because TwitchCon is not going to want to miss AVerMedia at TwitchCon this year. That's for sure.
All right. And with that being said, man, tell people where they can find you, and links are in the description below. Yeah,
great. Well, you guys can find me on every social platform at Hoost07. That's HOOST 07, or on any of the AVerMedia social accounts.
Awesome. And with that being said, people, you can catch this episode and every other episode of the Casanova Podcast on all available major podcasting outlets: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher. We're everywhere. So you can catch it. We do live stream podcasts weekly now. It's a new thing we've been doing the last couple of weeks. So we have this live stream podcast here. We've got ones with voice actors from your favorite video games, people from the gaming industry, and more. So you can catch it live here on YouTube. You can also catch it on Twitch, and links to everything are down in the description below. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, share. If you want to get some behind the scenes or input on the show, we've got Patreon and early access available with that. And with that being said, this is Chris and I. We are signing out. You guys have a great one.
Bye.